Sean King, Janelle Gomez,
Here.
Taylor Bouchek here, Alexis Swansky here, Doug,
Here.
Billy Gallo here, Amy Luzon, Isaiah Hopper, Julie McAdams,
Here.
Joseph Caperta, Aiden Messervay,
Here.
Jonathan Gonzalez, Asa Hanley, Gian Johanna,
Here.
David Blaze,
Here.
Dr. Tamika Wardlow Williams,
Present.
Dr. Darrell Nicholas, Arthur Patry,
Here.
Haley Rome.
All right, just as a reminder, when the ballots come around, put a 1 at the top of the right-hand corner. This is the election for speaker. We have 3 candidates. There are no proxies and I don't have any leads, so we will need to validate them. So first up is Jonathan Duncan.
I would actually like to raise my hand to see.
Okay,
I'm gonna take it.
all right. Number 2, Aiden Messervy. All right, stand up. Stand where you sit. All right.
Hello, members of Parliament. As many of you should know, I am Aiden Messervy, freshman representative. I've been with this Parliament since I was elected in the beginning of the fall this semester. As a speaker, I will also be head of the bylaws committee, and with that, being that I am so new, it will allow a fresh set of eyes. As I go through bylaws, I'll be able to pick out any issues that may arise that people who have always dealt with the bylaws will not have necessarily noticed. And as an adjudicator, I solemnly swear and do promise to make sure through my day-to-day work that I am always remaining impartial in all duties required by this here position. Also, I would like to note that I still have too much free time on my hands, which I am thankful to fill with a position such as this, being able to throw myself into my work here and make sure things are getting done correctly and properly. As in another note, I would also like to note my extreme responsibilities. As I mentioned the last time I ran for a position, I am an Eagle Scout. I've worked as a camp counselor and I have supervised for the state elections. So I know how things tend to run. Another point, I am a poli-sci major, so I will be comfortable and proficient with Robert's rules. So never again will we have to move something to a vote without first having a motion for it. And in closing, my fellow parliamentarians, I hope that you will vote for me for speaker. Thank you.
Okay, and the next candidate on the ballot is David Blaze.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Blaze, and I am running for Speaker of the Bylaws / Adjudication Commission. As Chair of the Commission, I will better myself with Robert's laws. Robert's laws are still relatively new to me, but I do have a basic understanding with the Speaker presenting the motion, therefore the motion being moved in second to a debate, which might result into an amendment, then to a vote, and then back to a motion. Also, as Chair, I'll be in charge of holding meetings and making sure to hold them at a reasonable time, as well to make sure they don't run to an unreasonable amount of time. Time is valuable to each and every one of us, and I want nothing but to be respectful to each one of you. So meetings will be run smoothly and within a fashionable amount of time. As a freshman representative, I have noticed that there is a lack of interest of freshmen to join SCG. As a speaker, it will also be a goal of mine to get freshmen and future students of this great institution involved with SCG and to show them how it can benefit them. Working with freshmen, I will get them acquainted with SCG and Robert's laws, and as well show them how to move up into higher tier positions here at SCG. As a student who is motivated and determined, this is my first Parliament meeting, and I am already running an election. I am motivated and determined that I will work hard to do my job as Speaker to the best of my abilities, and to do it with pride. I am involved with WXIN, Anchor TV, and the Anchor covering sports for every single one of them. Also, as a freshman rep, I worked closely with President Joshua Kersey on a petition to end the current Brick 100 course, or to come up with a solution for it. And so I have already proven myself to be a hard and determined worker who's not just here to be a part of SCG, but to also make Brick the best it can possibly be, not just now or next semester, but forever. Thank you very much.
Are there any write-ins? Are there any write-ins? Are there any write-ins? Okay. I'll be passing out the ballots. Please put a 1 in the top right-hand corner. Remind me, Joe, how many votes are needed? 9. So 9 votes are needed. Please write a 1 at the top of the ballot or says ballot number. Here we have always one and 2 1, but I have to read. Does everybody have one? All right, hold them up. Maybe not even come around and give it a chance. Did everybody get one? Everybody vote?
My professor did say I could leave.
I will be
And then I will be joining. You probably didn't know. I'm probably gonna be there around 7. That's fine.
It's like, there's, I think, don't hold me, I'll pull it up. While we wait. I'll say it during my office.
That'll make it like a ballot if you go out there, yeah. Now you can go out there.
I'm gonna do that.
You're an African. I'm over here doing that. Oh my God. I look down, like, what's the next picture?
Yeah. Okay, so.
You're in the same class.
So next is the salad. Tomorrow, sirloin, steak, fish,
All right. With 9 votes, we have a winner, David Blaze, with 9 votes, and Eden Reservi with 5. Moving on, remarks by Speaker-elect.
First off, before I say anything, I just want to say, great job, Aiden. Can we all give him a round of applause, please? here for voting me. I mean, this is my first Parliament meeting, so this is sort of surreal for me. So I just want to thank everyone, and thank you again.
Thank you, David. Can I have a motion to adjourn? First by SCG Secretary Taylor Rutek, and second by Speaker Polonsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? We will reconvene in 5 minutes, and I don't have my phone. What time that is? 7:16. Yes. Right.
And then,
It's not bad. I
Just for something for later. Just so you guys have it.
Yes, no, you gave me a copy, so it's mine.
No, I saw it because I was really dropped on the daisy. Six, so I wrote that. What did you go to the very end?
We have a break.
Making it
Instead of like wasting time. We have
Yeah, because it was funny because they're like,
No, it's during,
changes.
That's exactly right.
so, it's on me,
Like heavily enforced or something. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Each section, you show it.
I can't imagine why.
The other one's actually the other one.
let's say that previous analysis continues. Now, you have to go on the wall. It's about CP dimension.
It's just, we need a.
So we'll just clear that out. So if you just.
I'm with you as far as reading. Good.
I'll hold your left.
Yeah, it's about us in here.
We'll get the money in your
No, no, I just do it during my office.
Oh, okay.
hours.
Okay, my bad.
What if I ask Joan that shit? I mean, you don't have to right now. What?
Hi. So, 7:30, Benedict, please, can you please take that?
Joshua Percy, Monk Kane, Janelle Gomez, Alexis Swansky, Lily Gallo, Taylor Boucher,
Here.
Amy Luzon,
Here.
Isaiah Hopper,
Here.
Julie McAdams,
Here.
Thomas Duff, Aiden Messervay,
Here.
Joseph Caperta, Jonathan Gonzalez,
Here.
Aislinn Hanley, Dr. Tamika Wardlow-Williams,
Present.
Arthur Patry,
Here.
Haley Roan, Dr. Derek Nicholas, Gianna Demana,
Here.
David Blaze.
Here.
All right, can everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Seeking a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Representative Boucher, second by Representative Duff. Any discussion? Yes.
I make an amendment to the agenda by moving Jana Green to basically switching the speakers, moving Gus up one and Jana down one. She's not here yet. I want to give her time to get here. So move them up one and move Jana down one.
Is there a second? Second by Representative McAdams. Any discussions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? And that is changed. Seeking a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Motion by Representative Gonzalez, second by Representative Blutek. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Agenda is approved as amended. All right, now I'm seeking a motion to approve the minutes of November 20th, 2019. Motion by Representative Percy, second Representative Gonzalez. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? On to speakers. Gus Cantwell Alumni Mentoring Program.
What? Where's that being said, Madam?
You can stand, you can sit, wherever you like.
Sure, I'll stand so it's not weird for me sitting next to one person. So, hi everybody, my name is Gus Cantwell. I am the new Alumni Engagement Coordinator. I work over in the Kauffman Center, which is in the corner campus where no one probably ever goes, over near the social work building. So I graduated from Brown College with my master's degree in social work in 2018. Now I'm back. I was the president of the Masters of Social Work student organization while I was over there. And now I'm in this role. One of the main tasks I have as the Alumni Engagement Coordinator is the planning and execution of an alumni mentoring program, which is the primary reason I'm here. The other reason I'm here is just so you guys have a face to the name. Part of what we're hoping to do, we have 2 new folks that have come into the office. We're hoping to really start engaging current RIC students as we start to work towards building our alumni engagement, because we realized that the office I was in was formerly one person, so she didn't have the bandwidth to do everything she wanted. One of the initiatives we want to do is start getting RIC students excited about being alumni while they're still a student, because we recognize, as a recent one myself, the moment I left campus with my diploma, I didn't want anything to do with RIC because no one had told me ahead of time that I could. So that's part of why we're here, to let you guys know that we want to support current students as they transition into becoming alumni. So with that said,
one of the programs that we're starting, unfortunately, this may not apply to any or all of you, but regardless, it could in the future if it doesn't currently. It's called the Career Empowerment Opportunity Program, aka CEO. I'll leave this here if anyone wants to take a look at it after. There are flyers up in the building as well. Essentially, the program is, it has 3 parts to it. It has a pairing with a mentor who is a Rhode Island College alum. More than 60% of Rhode Island College alums still live in Rhode Island, and we're trying to take advantage of that fact. So we're trying to pair up current students. For this is a pilot program. For this cohort, we're looking for current juniors and or students who plan to graduate in May of 2021. With that said, we are looking to get all involved, so anyone who's interested, even if you don't fit those criteria, please talk to me if we want to know more, if we want to get people involved. We're going to pair students up with mentors in the community. What we're doing right now is we're recruiting students. We're looking for a cohort of between 12 and 15 students. Once we have our students selected, we're then going to get our mentors. We're doing that intentionally, so that way if we know what our students are doing, what their majors are, what their interests are, we can find a mentor in their field. So it's not someone in a totally different realm that's working with them, or someone who they can know and talk to who's at an executive hiring level. Those are the mentors we're seeking for the program. So for the mentees, the 3 components are going to be monthly in-person sessions on the RIC campus. They're going to be on Fridays. Not ideal, but we couldn't come up with one time that worked for every student, unfortunately. Part of the pilot is figuring out the timing that will work. So most of this program is going to run from between noon and 2:30 on Friday afternoons. That's what we determined to be the best, because we know the free period is not free for most of you guys, because you're all doing other things. So it'll be monthly seminars or sessions. They're going to do soft skill things like personal branding, digital literacy, things of that nature. We'll have various speakers who are on campus, and some of the mentors will also speak. The second component is the mentor match. There'll be a minimum of 1 hour a month where you guys will meet with the mentor, whether that's in person, Skype, phone, whatever works. That's up to the pair. And then the third component is networking lunch that we'll be doing. We're calling them lunch and learns. There are opportunities for the mentors to host the cohort of students at their place of work, wherever that may be around the state, to talk about what they do, what the organization does, job opportunities, how to get into the field, all that kind of good stuff. Food is provided for all of this, and transportation is provided for all of this on an as-need basis, so no one needs to come in with any financial or car or anything like that. Everything will be provided. The program starts in February of next February, so 2020, and it runs through May of 2021, so it'll be 3 semesters. As I said, this is right now, we're opening this up to current juniors. The website, which is ric.edu/alumni, there's a tab on the left side that says Alumni Mentoring Program. In case anyone's interested, I've left a couple copies of the webpage, and also it has the application right on the website. So if you guys want to go and take a look and see what we're looking for, you can see the application if you're interested. If you're not a junior yet, if you're a freshman, sophomore, and you're interested in the program, totally fine. I would love for you all to reach out to me, because this is the first year we're doing this, and we're looking to learn and grow and figure out what to do, and we're already starting to think ahead for the next cohort of students that we'd like to start next year around the same time, and then continue. That's the idea. So I'm going to leave those, and I'm also going to leave my cards. So if anyone wants to call, email, talk to me, whatever, find me, track me down. Happy to talk about the program. Love to talk more about it. I do want to emphasize, since this is a pilot, we are creating this. Everything can be flexible and change based on what the people in the program think. So we're looking for feedback as we go. Applications are going to be due on December 13th. So head to the website and check that out. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. That's it. Thank you. Appreciate the time. Oh yeah, sure. Sorry.
I do apologize. I'm not trying to snag you, right? You're going to get about all that. But I have a couple of questions, preliminary questions. Not really what you really talking about, but it's kind of more like the names you give. Your title is the alumni coordinator.
My title is Alumni Engagement Coordinator.
Engagement coordinator. And got a CEO. It was career empowerment.
Career Empowerment Opportunity. I'm glad you said that. One thing I want to mention as well, I know we're trying to work through the branding piece of this. CEO does not mean we're looking for business students only. We're looking for diverse students from across all schools. We want all 5 schools in the college to be involved in this. So one thing that we realized in making this was people might think that only meant business students or something like that, and that's not the case at all. Open to absolutely anybody. No restrictions in terms of your major or anything like that. Sorry, do you have other questions other than that?
I reckon not at this moment. I'm pretty sure I can just go ahead and track it down.
Absolutely. Please grab my card and feel free to send me an email. One other thing I will say is we have received 10 applications. Interestingly, all 10 have been women, so I don't want to specifically target men because A, that's not cool, but I will say that we want as diverse a group as possible, and since we have no men, I will say that there may or may not be a slightly elevated opportunity percent-wise if you're getting into the program, if you apply as a guy, because apparently there are none, and we want to have at least one. So statistically, you have a great chance. So I will throw that out there for anyone who's interested. Any other questions? Yeah, sure.
You said you're currently recruiting upcoming juniors. How does seniors that fit in a super senior category where they will be staying for more than 4 years kind of qualify?
So thank you for saying that. So that was one thing that we talked about, and I completely overlooked that. I meant to mention that. So we're looking at 2 groups of students because we recognize a lot of students on campus, the vast majority are not traditional in and out 4-year full-time. This program is, we said junior in terms of credits, so between 60 and 89 credits per the records office, or if you anticipate graduating in May of 2021. So whatever that may mean to you. With that said, if you think you're close or you're like, I'm not sure, I might graduate early or late, whatever, feel free to apply, send me an email, let me know, because like I said, we might be flexible. If we realize, oh, we need to make that a little less rigid, absolutely we'll consider that.
Also, you said you are recruiting around 15 students at the moment.
Yes.
Is this trial period and it will be expanded later on if it does well, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what our plan is. We thought about opening it up to the entire campus, freshman right through senior, but our problem is we had no idea what the response rate would be, and we want to guarantee a qualified mentor for every student because we have a very specific targeted mentor group that we have, and that's not a huge pool yet. So we're starting small and targeted to guarantee that all the students in the program have an appropriate mentor that they know they can connect with. So yes, the goal is and hope is to expand it for the next few years.
So if you get more than 15 applications, what are you using to narrow it down?
So we have a selection committee that we're putting together that involves some folks on campus in our alumni office, some other groups around campus, student activities. We have a couple alumni who are involved as well. The Career Development Center, we have, I forget the exact total, something like 7 or 8 folks who are going to have come together. We're going to have a selection process towards the end of this month. We're going to come together and decide based on the number of applications that we get.
Questions at all?
I wanted to thank you for coming. This is a great spot to bring this information to. And I wanted to let you know that if you wanted to come back, if you have any more information, that's great. If you wanted to send me any of this information for me to share amongst the students, I can shortly do that for you. But just wanted to thank you very much for coming.
Of course. Thank you guys. Appreciate the time. Have a great day.
Diana Green from Harambe, Black History Month.
Thank you. I just want to say good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to take some time out of your meeting to present what I have to say. Please do forgive me, I haven't had time to rehearse this, but I do believe the message will be well executed. So, Rhode Island College's oldest Black student organization, Harambe, has been established on campus since 1978. Harambe is a welcoming community that is willing to take whomever is interested no matter the background. We are here to teach and learn from one another, and together we will embrace the importance of unity on our campus. Harambe means unity in Swahili, and we strive to unify our campus on all fronts, from prospective students to retired faculty. As a team, we are here to work as facilitators in order to better our communication and understanding of the African and Caribbean students founded at Rhode Island College. Student and faculty involvement is highly encouraged in our year-round activities to promote social and cultural awareness on campus. These activities are designed to portray the noble cultural treasures of the African continent and Caribbean islands. Ultimately, we are an organization that inspires many to reunite while generating a safe environment for the African and Caribbean cultures on campus. Through our unique Black History Month programming, we recognize the central role of African Americans in U.S. history. This is Us is our Black History Month theme for February 2020. The phrase, "This is us," is the embodiment of what it means to be immersed as a card-carrying member of the Black experience, regardless of how you received your card or your present social condition. This is Us represents how the sum of our experiences is stronger than our individual circumstances, and that the collective us is greater than any tribulation set amongst us, the racism we encounter daily, or the stereotypes the majority uses to prejudge us. Black people are a strong and unyielding group of perseverant overcomers, and we maintain a strong history of social advancement that displays a resiliency. To enhance our programming, we would like to invite the exonerated 5 speaker, Yusuf Salam, to further instill our message. Salam was falsely convicted and served 6 years and 8 months as an innocent man. His remarkable narrative recasts the gaze on Black and brown people, eliciting empathy and the desire for justice. It raises questions regarding police coercion and false confessions, as well as vulnerability of juveniles during police interrogations. Furthermore, it asks us to consider who exactly in America really gets the presumption of innocence when accused of a crime. Harambe believes having Salam as a keynote speaker creates another opportunity to see ourselves within another individual. The reason why we say this is because Salam, along with his brothers, have been through an intense, traumatic experience where they were wrongfully convicted for an act they did not commit. One thing we see amongst our peers is that we are fighting our own battles. We're going through our hard-won things we don't speak about. We feel that the students at Rhode Island College can come to this event and be educated and empowered. Furthermore, students can find a sense of healing. Salam is an example of someone who came out of a traumatic experience, and instead of fighting back with hate and revenge, he chose to empower, uplift, and share his narrative in hopes of helping those who will listen. We believe students need to hear his story, and we need to understand his powerful message. Many of us might be yearning to hear a message on surviving trauma and what mechanisms can be utilized to cope with our trauma. In addition to him being mistreated and dehumanized nationally and in prison, he also had to deal with the guilt of bringing his brother along with him. Guilt is something that we can all relate to in some way, shape, or form. How do we heal? How do we find ourselves again? We believe through Salam's message on how he feels every day and discovering who he is now, he motivates someone to do the same. Harambe strives to bring speakers on campus who will deliver a message that students can take with them, apply it to their life, and hopefully be a better individual tomorrow. We are all trying to be a better son, a better daughter, a better friend, a better student, and overall a better person. A keynote speaker like Salam can help us reach towards that goal. Productive programming like this will shift our campus dynamics from subjects considered taboo to having open and honest dialogue about race. Recently, we just conducted the Campus Climate Survey to gather a census of what campus dynamics are like. It concluded that students of color tend to feel a lower sense of belonging on their campuses than white students. They feel less welcome to new campus environments and feel like they get less academic support in comparison to their white counterparts. Their sense of belonging can affect whether they remain at Rhode Island College and graduate. Typically, students of color have lower graduation rates and lower retention rates than white peers across the country. And researchers have found that the racial climate on college campuses is one reason why. According to a report from the Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA, racial and ethnic composition of campuses, the perception of campus as hostile or welcoming, and the interaction across races all affect educational outcomes for students. We as students can sometimes be frustrated with the gap between espoused and enacted institutional values concerning diversity and inclusion. Ultimately, the message is that Salam will help young adults explore our identities and who we are. Trauma, sexuality, and race all play a role in identity development, which is why Harambe has co-sponsored with the following organizations to represent the many different students we have on campus: Student Community Government, WXIN, Pride Alliance, RIC Spanish Club Unidos, and Student Programming. A powerful and impactful event like this, all in all, we anticipate a stellar Black History Month that encompasses productive and entertaining programming, if assisted with the support of Rhode Island College students. Thank you for your time and attention. So, what I provided you all with tonight was just sort of an outline of who he is and more background of our speaker and what he does for a living. That lists his story and what he does now, as well as an outline of all our February events for our programming. So we wanted to strike a balance between what was entertaining, but as well as what was educating our audience that will be involved with our events. And then attached with that is our This Is Us speech or summary of what we mean by our phrase, and to go into that with further detail. So here you can see that we are also bringing in different collaborations across college offices, one being the Counseling Center. So one of our big responses last year was to have more events surrounded around like mental health and just to really talk about that and the stigmas within the African American community. So this year I decided to sort of further our initiative in helping students sort of find outlets in which they can receive the help that they're requesting. We could have an event and talk about it, but I think it's useful to offer solutions for whatever problems students are going through and to showcase the resources that are offered on campus. So we will be inviting African American psychiatrists and therapists to come in and talk about what they do and to sort of give any coping mechanisms if they can. We also have a fun theme event where it's Family Feud with Black History Edition where students are able to learn about it but also have fun and playing games. And then the last one obviously is the big sort of grand finale with Yusuf Salaam for our event to wrap up our message.
All right, any questions at all? Representative Tucson?
I have a question, I just have a comment. I think this was very eloquently on this message, and you actually pride yourself, it was really cool and really excited to see. That's all. Thank you.
Representative Gomez?
I'm glad to see this happening, and definitely we should talk about the Unity Center collaborating with this, because I know that the Unity Center is trying to like maybe make a dialogue with them around here or something, but we could talk about it.
Yes, for sure. Love that. And would love to put that out there that I encourage all to attend for the event. I think it's going to be a huge and impactful event for our campus. One of the college's initiatives is to definitely shift toward that more inclusive and diverse community. So I believe all students on campus, commuter students even, everybody, just to come in and to learn something and to just share what you feel and just to be within this space. I believe it's going to be great. So I encourage all of you to come and hope to see you attend some of our events in February.
I think I was next. I wanted to thank you for coming, and as I've spoken to you already, that SCG is in full support of this. We really want to push for this event to happen. We think it's going to be a great success, and it's something that really should happen on campus more often. Somebody big coming, like a musical act we had a few years ago. An event like this should really have an educational background also, which is going to be great. It's not just somebody coming here to DJ or something like that. This is going to have a great impact on the college, and I'm in full support of it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
What was the date? I'm so sorry.
So the date right now is Friday, February 21st, and the expected, or the times that we have proposed now would be 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And speaking with his agency and who Salame is and how he presents himself at other colleges for when he does events like this, he's willing to meet and greet every student. He wants to be very impactful, have that interaction, and be super just honest and transparent. His story is out there and definitely to be that outlet for someone who may be going through something similar or going through identity development as we all are maybe going through as of right now. So he's in full support of our mission, and I think will definitely be a great addition as we transcend towards that inclusive and diverse community. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone? Representative Boyce?
I was just looking in the Family Feud night. I see it said a possible collaboration with Providence College. Can you speak more about Providence College involvement with this?
Yeah, sure. So Harame has decided, or the Black student unions within the area, that in order to further sort of initiatives that we all share, objectives that we all share, it can be strength within numbers. So we have discussed in support of supporting their events at their college, as well as them coming to some of ours here as well, and just letting each other know that we are 110% agreeance on what we'd like to do and the legacies and impacts that we'd like to make with the students on this campus. So it was a possible collaboration to sort of create a friendly rivalry, if you will, to have like rich students versus Providence College students and seeing who would know more knowledge, but also the overall purpose was to educate but everyone. It has not been solidified, which is why it says possible there, just to work out sort of any policies or procedures or legal process of what it's like for close sponsorship with another college that I have not worked out yet, and to see if that could happen and speaking with them as well. So that is subject to change, but thank you. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? All right, I just want to thank you for coming. Anyone here for the forum? Anyone here for the forum?
education. My goal is to get those last 2 seats filled right there. I'd be very happy with that. But we need to keep pushing for membership on the body. I've reached out to the chairs of the educational departments to try to have them push for the educational seats. I also went to, like I said, the council meeting, kind of pushed for that also there. So we need to keep pushing. I know it's the end of the semester. We got exams going on, so best of luck on those also. I know we're losing a few people to graduation, so those people we lose, we gotta get those members, we need to get members back to replace you guys. So we gotta keep pushing for that. I do have one thing on here that I have to do. I'd like to have David come up here, please. If you could, raise your right hand and read this.
I, David Blaze, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Speaker of Rhode Island College Student Parliament and will, to the best of my ability, protect and uphold the bylaws of SCG. I will promise a sense of community and foster the growth of student interest and welfare as a whole, and honor the integrity of the mission of Student Parliament and all of its committees and commissions thereof.
Thank you, congratulations. If you could just sign these 2 for me, you get them back to me at the end, that'd be great. Thank you, you can keep the pen. Yes, absolutely. We're gonna get a pen on the side of this. I will say, next semester we have the Black History Month that SCG is going to be co-sponsoring. So let's kind of help with that. As in Parliament, you should also be advertising, try to go to that. I also want to encourage everybody to kind of continue to have a sense of community, get to know everybody at this table. We're all parts of different clubs, so we should really be going out and try to support each of our club's events. And try to, increase that membership around campus also. And I'd really like to see everybody continue to bring a friend and get them on Parliament. That'd be great. Or even just a committee, I'd be happy with that too. But other than that, I don't believe I have any other announcements.
All right. Vice President King.
I ain't really thinking about a whole lot right now. In case I did get to meet with Miss Kim Johnson. And we just gonna try to make this collaboration I'm trying to do for past half a semester and a half, whatever you want, however that proper way of speaking. So hopefully we get to be able to do that by the end of the next semester, somewhere around there, somewhere out there. I'm super excited for that right there. I'm also gonna be working with our administrative assistant just to help try to get those boards up. Everybody by next semester too, so we can have all the advertisement possibly evidence there. I reckon, oh yeah, and I might have said this shit before and all that, but I'm ever obliged to the school for partnering with RIPLA, with being able to use all our school IDs for free on the bus, no matter when, Monday through Sunday. Y'all awesome. If y'all like to try to travel somewhere, I would implore y'all heavily to use the bus and all that. It's actually really nice system. I'm actually quite fond of it, to be real quite frank. Coming up from Virginia and all that, our messaging wasn't never as good as right. They want to be snow and all that. I appreciate y'all. And oh, by the way, I reckon this all last meeting and also how everybody have a Murray holidays and all that. And I appreciate y'all.
All right. Treasurer Gomez.
Oh, that was Secretary.
Oh,
Yeah.
Secretary, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is the last time we're gonna bother everyone about the holiday party because it's tomorrow. Just to remind everyone, it's tomorrow at 6 at venue 131 at Cumberland. Dress kind of nicely. People have been asking me how to dress, and I keep telling people dress like you're going to a Thanksgiving. Like, kind of nice, but don't go crazy. It should be really fun. We're gonna have good food, and everyone gets a little goodie bag who comes, and they have fun stuff in them. So please come to that if you can. And you're gonna be hearing from me later. So that's it for now.
All right. Treasurer Gomez.
Hi everyone, I'm going to keep my announcements brief. I have a general fund report that's kind of crude to send over to you 3 allocations. It was something like, I believe that was the one for the Dundies, so the WXIN, and just Interpost, no, RSA allocation or something like that. And then we have the 27th, the 27,000, that was a bunch of conferences for November 6th. I don't have that on hand, but if you ever have any questions on this, we do have the minutes upstairs. I have them upstairs as well. And I also have a spreadsheet that has all this information in much more depth. I apologize I didn't provide that. So you can see over here on November 19th, there were some conferences, for example, the Anchor Conference and just a couple other conferences that happened, like the School of Nursing Conference and all that good stuff. And then you see November 26th, another conference that was Anthropos. They went in a later conference, so they reverted a little later. And then we had a giant student activity fee deposit of, I think I put that wrong number in wrong. Oh, it was 147? Yeah, it was 147,000, that which helped us definitely get into the deeper black, which is awesome. So after allocating like $43,597.89 after this finance that happened today, that was going into conference. As you can see, the Black History Month event, that was like 18,000, and just a couple other co-sponsorships and stuff. That brought us down to 161,000 and 306. Wait, $161,306.01. Sorry, we gotta start over when you do these big numbers, and that is that. So that's where it is right now. I'll have definitely a way bigger one to start you guys off at the beginning of the next semester. Sorry about this cruise one. I just didn't want to leave you guys ending off the semester without knowing where we're at. So we're in a really good place to start off budget hearings. We just gotta, do some estimations to see what we're thinking about for the next semester and all that good stuff. So you'll be hearing more about that later. Yeah. That's all I have.
All right. Yes.
I love this loud and clear voice.
Thank you.
Second, what's SAF?
Student activity fee.
Oh.
You learn something new every day. And if you guys have any questions on that, let me know.
Alright, any questions? Now around to me. I actually had announcements for once. It's my first time in a while. Alright, so I just wanted to go over a few things that I've noticed the past couple meetings. Abstentions, I asked that people only abstain if they have to, and that if you can vote, please do. So I really don't want people not voting just because they don't want to make a decision and just abstaining because of that. That's just something that I've noticed, because we are here to make changes and voice our opinions, so that's kind of the purpose of Parliament. Obviously, if we're voting on something XIN, you're part of XIN, but unless you, all right, the anchor. But you get what I'm saying is, unless you have a very specific reason not to, please vote. Because that's kind of the whole point. Another thing, I just wanted to thank everyone for having me as a speaker, even though it's only for half a semester. I did enjoy my time here in Parliament. This is, I think, my third year in Parliament. So I just wanted to thank everyone who allowed that for me, allowed me to get the position signed and get this position. Everyone who voted for me, who I don't think is even here anymore. I'm also very happy to see this Parliament. I think it's the biggest Parliament I've ever been on. Maybe it's 2 or 3 years ago, in my opinion, just as big. But I hope to see that it keeps on growing the same way that it's been growing the past couple months. So that's really good. And now I have leaves. So that's my announcements. So I have a leave from Representative Curda. He says, "Good evening, members of Parliament. I may be late tonight due to class, but he's going to try and make it here as soon as possible. Seeking a motion to approve that motion by Senator Council, second by Senator Popper. Any It's a late leave, sorry.
Does he have to say what time? Or just before the meeting?
be either a time or before the end of the night.
So there's no specific time that we gave, we can just say it's gonna get here as soon as possible. Oh. All those in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? I have one more lead from Representative Eastman. She wanted to let us know that she's not going to be able to make it because she has come down with a fever and some flu. So I'm seeking motion to approve that. Motion by Representative Percy, second by Representative Lutek. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Approved. And that is it for my announcements. Deputy Speaker Hill.
Hi guys, I'm still looking to fill up conditions and services. Currently I'm pretty sure there's only 1 or 2 members on it. It's still an important group. We need to get things done. Currently, not much is happening. We're just trying to get rid of a rat and a leaky toilet. But I'm sure something will pop up. Also, have fun at the holiday party tomorrow. I will not be there and have prior commitments before I joined Parliament, basically. So, yeah, have fun with that and happy holidays to everybody. That's all.
All right. On to report, Finance Commission minutes of November 20th, 2019. Seeking a motion to approve. No, I'm seeking a motion. Motion by Representative Lutek, second by Representative Gonzalez, and now you can talk about whatever you gotta talk about.
Any questions? As you can see, we have also had a reallocation. We have NISLA doing an operating budget French Club, and AMA just getting some allocations and good stuff like that. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I put a lot of time working on this.
Alright, so is there any discussion at all? See that there is, oh.
Hello.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
So does last one know that if they do over the events that they can't put up their budget
On 263s are not like that. 262 is the promoted line item that you can't move money out of. 263
No,
is
I
the
meant like
current.
they know that, like, they can't, like, they would have to, like, minimize it to 263, since they're not pulling it. Like, because it's a 263, since they're not pulling it, like, it would, like, go back to the school.
That's for 263. Any further discussion? Touch base about it.
Alright. Seeing that there is still discussion or?
They'll decide on
Okay. So now I am moving to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion by Representative Gomez and your representative. And that is now. I am seeking a motion to approve the bylaws and adjudication commission minutes of November 26th. Motion by Representative Gallo, seconded by Representative Lutek. All right. There you go. All right. So I had 2 meetings last Tuesday because I wanted to make some changes and I wanted to make sure that we got the policy changes approved as well for a few things. In time for our last Parliament meeting. So that's why we had 2 meetings in the same day, different times. It's had talked about, you'll be able to find out, but we talked about a few things, some changes to multiple bylaws. And, yeah, is there any discussion?
Obviously, we're going to discuss the actual bylaws when it comes up. But I would definitely say that one thing that stood out to me was I don't believe you can expel an executive board member from Parliament due to the fact that they're elected. They can only be removed by a vote of no confidence or impeachment. So I don't really know how you go about that, because I think that's the only way in the bylaws is the no confidence in officer and then the impeachment trial. So I don't know if adding them to the bylaws of having only one meeting should be what's going on. That's just my 2 cents on it, because we're different than the Parliament members. So that's my thought process on it. Just from the minutes, we can discuss it more in depth when we get to the actual proposed changes.
The previous executive board said that there could be expulsion after 3 excused absences before expulsion.
The previous executive board?
The previous rule with the
Well, no, it didn't say that. It was just the general rule. The general bylaw says 3, and it didn't specify. It just said Parliament members, which were not exactly Parliament members.
Do executive boards have a policy on
Yes,
absences?
the no, we don't. It's just no confidence in officer and impeachment. So you think if an officer missed 4 meetings, the Parliament people would say that they don't have confidence. If I didn't show up for 5 meetings, would any of you have confidence in me? That's how
You didn't show up for
For
one, if you're that week.
Correct. That's exactly. So I mean, I think I'm just bringing it up because I saw it in the minutes, and there is actual changes that we can discuss and maybe change some wording to it when it gets there. But just tossing that into everybody's mind. You have to have some.
Oh, with the whole, the confidence thing, you saying missing 5 meetings, I guess it would be on a case-by-case basis, because if you miss 5 meetings by sickness or actual illness, would that be a reason not to?
Exactly. That's the.
You shouldn't be on Parliament if you're that
So, so theoretically, it would just be the same as it is now, because right now, if someone did miss, if an executive board member missed that many meetings, like you said, then you would probably go to no confidence, so it would still be the same idea. But, I want to talk about that once we get to new business and not really here. Preferably, since that's when we're talking about the changes that we're making, so that regarding the bylaws itself, to not in the legal case, so.
You have shared the discussion.
So is there any more discussion on minutes? No?
Seeking motion to approve the. I'm going to the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And all those opposed? And any abstentions? Abstention by Representative Gomez. Abstention by Representative Garcia.
Each of them.
Alright, so, on to new business. Storgy Award policy proposed changes, seeking a motion to approve it. Motion by Representative
are laid out on the first page, where it's the proposed changes in rationale. The following pages are just those changes in the actual policy itself. But the only things that we changed were outlined for you. So the first thing we wanted to change was in the award section. We wanted to add a most original t-shirt design award. So many clubs create their own designs for t-shirts, merchandise, and advertising. We want to recognize that they create good artwork because a lot of this is artwork and logos that the clubs are designing themselves. And then we would renumber the rest of that section accordingly. The second change is within the process section. There was a clause that had the secretary creating a list of eligible events, but we don't do that anymore, so we wanted to remove that. We include all that information on the nomination ballot itself, and the rest of the process would be renumbered accordingly. The last one for the process section involves the eligibility of Parliament members to be recognized for awards. So they basically, we're renumbering, I'm sorry. We're renumbering, and there are two separate things that needed to be clarified. One is that student community government and student parliament is not eligible to nominate for any awards. The other is that the collective body is not eligible to nominate or vote for any awards, except for most dedicated parliament member and most dedicated non-parliament Canadian commission member. The last thing we had to clarify was it originally said the 6 officers of parliament are not allowed to win any awards. However, there's only 2 officers of parliament, our speaker and deputy speaker, so we had to just clarify that section there. I'm so sorry, there's so many changes. The next part is our planning policy. So our current policy is a little vague in the dates for when things have to be done, and they're actually also a little bit late. The best thing to do is to change all of those dates to make sure that everything can get done in a timely manner. We want a venue selected at the end of October, a menu by the 30th of February, and favors ordered the week after spring break. Awards get ordered immediately after voting ballots are counted, and they should be shipped and received at least 1 week prior to the banquet in case there's any faulty awards. So we just wanted to update when those certain steps need to be completed. The last change to the policy is the annual budget. So the annual budget request presented to the Finance Commission to fund the Story Awards banquet originally says it should not exceed $18,000. However, this amount is supposed to be revisited every 3 years. We'd like to change that number to $23,000 because this actually, I'm sorry, I'm not done.
Sorry, because I said when I was agreeing, because of the fact that it's supposed to pass through finance first.
No.
This is
This is policy.
It goes through her to make it.
I thought you said we were going to
No, I said she can do this. It's not any numbers in the finance bylaws, so it's not in your jurisdiction.
So we want to change this number to $23,000. Our rationale for that is this funding is supposed to be revisited every 3 years. It actually hasn't been revisited in the last 4, so it's due for an update. And we actually had to talk the venue down $2,000 this year for our food guarantee. That plus the awards that we wanted to get originally would have cost over the $18,000, which would leave no room for like decorations, entertainment, or anything else. And it also could have led to potentially not being able to order enough awards for clubs, because the amount of awards we need each year changes depending on how clubs decide to co-sponsor, because every co-sponsoring organization deserves an award. If you look at the papers that I handed out earlier with the budget, this shows a list of everything that if we could have everything we possibly wanted, how much it would cost. As you can see, with this year's $18,000 budget, we would have been $5,897 over and 48 cents. So obviously we didn't get to do all these things that we really wanted to, which was quite unfortunate. And the total cost of everything we wanted to do would have been $23,897.48. So I'm not even asking for that last $897. We're just asking that it be updated to $23,000 because the prices of banquet halls and decorations has gone up considerably over the last 4 years due to inflation and the economy, and people just want to make more money. So that is all I have for that.
All right. Representative Gallo?
So I put my card up when you were talking about the most original t-shirt design.
Yes.
I just felt like maybe that should be changed to maybe like most original artwork or most original logo design, so that all like not every club I think makes t-shirts. So that
Okay, so yeah, just to clarify, when we wanted to do this award, it's just the design, so clubs don't actually have to print said t-shirt, they just have to design one and send us like a picture of their design, you know what I'm saying? So we had thought of that, and we know not every club does that.
So maybe should it be just called most original artwork? Or, because that makes me think like that it's like clubs like with t-shirts or like you have to go and make t-shirts.
I think the reason we wanted to leave it as t-shirt design was just because we felt that if we got into most original artwork or like most original logo, there are some clubs that have multiple logos, as you know.
Yes.
But also there are clubs that make merchandise that isn't
Like
a t-shirt, that they use different things for, like, you know, for instance, we make pens in our club. So even though this is technically like artwork, it's not really a t-shirt design, and we didn't want to compare like apples and oranges, and people design like artwork for sweatpants or
That's all
other things.
And then I just had another quick thing here. Is a fire marshal needed at every? So we're still getting them, right?
Yes. Yes, we
I
are
thought-
required by law to
I
have a
thought
fire.
this was like stuff that you weren't able to get.
No, we're required by law to get a fire.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Representative Conklin?
So in clause 3 with the process on proposed change 6, it says the 4 SEG members and 2 parliament officers. Will this policy have to change each time that there's a different like parliament officer representing?
No, so that basically means that the 4 SCG and 2 parliament officers, that means the 4 SCG officers, which is president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and 2 parliament officers, which are speaker and deputy speaker. So that's just a more formal way of listing what they are and a more succinct way of listing what they are. That's okay. And there's also 4 cabinet members, the same thing. That's the most succinct way to say it.
I just want to know, because you're adding the most original t-shirt design, but I feel like that also kind of ties in with just promotional advertising, so how do you plan to differentiate the two? Because a lot of times t-shirts can be used as like promotional advertising, so we can use that for both categories.
So most of our promotional advertising is actually advertising for a specific event.
Yeah.
It usually comes in the form of flyers and posters because a lot of clubs obviously make flyers for their events. So that's sort of where we would differentiate. We're looking at, for best promotional advertising, we're looking for them to promote an event, not the club itself. If there were overlap though, I don't see an issue with, you know, if a club made a shirt to promote an event, we would have no issue nominating them for both and just seeing what happens. Yeah, of course.
Representative Adams?
So is how the ballots would be organized something that would need to be changed in the processing for this?
What do you mean? Could you clarify more?
How we talked about if there could be ranking.
So that's not in the policy at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just something that we change on the voting packet itself.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah. of course.
Any more discussion? No discussion, Diane? All right, seeing that there's no more discussion, moving to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Representative Lutek, Representative Gonzalez, Representative Gomez, and Dr. Benito Huerta-Williams, and Representative McAdams. All abstaining. And that's still enough people there. All right, and it passes. All right. Now on to the SBR policy changes. Seeking a motion to approve it. First by Representative Tuck, second. Representative Guzon. And
All right, so this is bylaws, some of these bylaws changes I submitted to the bylaws committee last year, and they never got to it, so now they're coming through. So I'll go through them real quick. The first one, article, the student parliament, some of them are name changes, some of them are a little bit bigger. First one is changing new resident hall to Penfield Hall. The next one is, according to our administrative assistant, the continuing education student seat hasn't been filled in 15 years. So that's gone. Getting rid of it, and it's also changing the resident hall to Penfield. But we are submitting that and putting in an undergraduate Greek life student. So Greek life came to me, one person last year and 2 people this year saying that they were interested in a Greek life seat. So how that's going to happen is very similar to the educational seats. And that is, Mike Jacqueline is going to give me a list of Greek life students, and whatever they are this year, that's the amount of signatures they have to get. I believe it's going to be, I'll talk about that in, yeah, the amount is going to be determined by the amount of people in Greek life. That's how that's going to be determined. Next thing, I'm removing continuing education seat everywhere it appears in the bylaws. Next one is, this is something me and Kane worked on a lot this year. We discussed it. We finally came to a decision. It's the class representation on the ballots. They are no longer going to be on the ballots. So for now on, it's going to be a petition. You have 3 upper class, 3 freshman seats, and it's going to be 30 signatures for that. Next one is, number 5 is removing continuing education from that spot. Next one is just some word changes, talking about the Student Union Welcome and Information Center, which no longer exists. So we just changed it to making our minutes available through our website and social media and any other outlets that the PR committee determines is important. Next one is the Board of Governors has been changed, the name has been changed to the Post-Secondary Council. So just changing the names of the bylaws to update what's currently going on. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I can try to answer them for you. But I think most of this is pretty self-explanatory. page? Oh, okay, so, what's the proposed revision one that you're talking about?
In front of the member, I was trying to figure out that little, comma between performance, matriculation, matriculated, and graduate, so it's going 2 times while you got to do.
Oh, it's the last first time, I think.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, okay, like 4.2.1.
Gotcha, yeah, all right, that's fine.
Is that a friendly amendment? Is there any opposition to that? Cool. Representative Gomez.
I just have a question on, do you guys think it's wise, although that it doesn't get filled every year, do you think it's wise for Article 4 to happen? Just because of the fact that we did gain some parliament members through that avenue?
Continuing education can be a resident or a commuter, or an at-large, so they can take on the other seat. Article 4, right, the continuing education seat?
No, that Article 4 is the election.
Oh, the election?
Yeah, and the freshman.
So there's 2 Article 4s, so just specify those.
Oh, so the one on,
Page
3 and 4?
this one, 3, the one that he was talking about earlier.
Yeah, well, this is the first year that we've had all the class reps filled, or have 6 class reps. And that's because Kane's been pushing so hard for it. Last year, we only had 1 or 2. The year before that, we had barely any. If it wasn't for Kane, I don't know if he wanted to run the election again. He wanted to run it 4 or 5 times. I had to stop him. Just so that we could get these seats filled, I think that it's appropriate to make it a petition because A, the 3 freshman reps will still be available in the fall. It is 30 instead of 50, so you're a little shy of freshmen, you don't have to get as many signatures. It's also still only 30 signatures, so you only have to get them and just go to the first year writing class, first year seminar class, and any of your other 100 level classes. Most of them are going to be freshmen. And the other upperclassmen, they can take those out in the spring. So if all 6 at-larges come up, I can take out the senior class one, and still only have to do 30. So the idea behind that is, just because Kane was so successful with the elections this year, we're worried that we had to run it 4 or 5 times to get there. What if the vice president isn't so forthcoming and diligent that we might not get them filled? So the idea of taking them off is that at least it's a petition, and they'll be open year-round, so that even when we finish elections, you only have to run them twice. So if Kane didn't want to run them again, he didn't have to. So once elections are done, it's done. Those positions can't be filled. So with the petition, the upperclassmen will be available in the spring and until they're full. And then freshmen, the fall, until they're full to the end of the year. So with that, we're just trying to make sure that those seats are available, even if the election fails.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Any opposition? Representative Gomez? And any abstentions? Dr. Kamiga, Representative Duff, and Representative Hopper. And you're also allowed one unexcused absence on top of that, so that's 4 maximum per semester. We, as a, not just me, obviously, we feel like that is kind of a lot considering, like, especially this semester, we only had 8 meetings. So that's essentially half the meetings. And that's also about 2 months. That's a lot of meetings. I feel like, we feel like it's quite a lot to be absent from. The current policy also doesn't differentiate between executive board and non-executive board. We feel like the executive board should be held to a higher standard because they are elected positions as opposed to being on parliament, just joining. You're making a lot of money to move in office. So we feel like because it's an elected position, it's a stipend position, they should be held to a higher standard than the other parliament members. So that is what's going on. So it goes for non-executive board members, it goes from 3 to 2 maximum. For excused, you're still allowed the 1 unexcused. And then for executive board members, you're allowed 1 excused and 1 unexcused, and then that's it. So that is the first change to the policy. The next changes to the policy, it's, if you look forward a little bit, it's currently, so in the attendance policy itself, this is actually already in it. It's just not in the bylaws, the special leaves. So I was just updating, so that both the bylaws and the attendance policy match. So it's just covering any extenuating circumstances. So you got in a car accident today, you're not thinking about, oh shoot, I'm in this parliament, and that kind of stuff. So, is there any discussion? Yes.
Looking over at the leaves, you're saying that you're trying to propose the changes for executive board members from 3 leaves to 1 leave?
Yes.
I understand that you're trying to have us like be at a higher standard, but life happens and we're all students. Not only are we all students, but we do have like family people and other like health issues and things that not everything is disclosed to the body. So with that being said, I feel like that's a little harsh and maybe should be given 2. So that it is less, I guess. So that would be 3 total rather than just 2 total. Because there are many meetings, not only as a chairperson, because if you are holding an executive position, you are having meetings outside of just parliament, outside of your office hours. So I feel like that, well, I'm living in economics actually, but you are having meetings outside of just like this. For example, myself, I hold finance and parliament, so I'm at basically 2 meetings every 2 weeks. So with that being said, what if I like, I don't know, I got in a car accident after my finance or something, you
So
know?
that would be an excused absence, which would be fine.
Yeah, but then what if like another day after finance, something other crazy happened, I got
So
some in
if
the
you-
Madonna or something.
If you look, it's also
Right.
up to the,
Second cars.
if you look, it's also up to the discretion of the parliament. So let's say you got into.
Where's that at?
It's, somewhere in there.
So like technically like relief is still your discussion if you read like this proposed part of the regarding like the special leave, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
so extenuating circumstances like that, that's what special leave is there for. I'm just talking about normal, you know.
So on top of the, so just to clarify, on top of the leaves that are already committed, there's a special leave as well.
There are special leaves for extenuating circumstances
Thank you.
already in place. I'm just updating that in the bylaws from the attendance policy.
So I think it's just people that don't take advantage of the attendance policy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh. I was just, it was discussed.
I have questions.
It hurts to discuss it.
Just gonna be a dumb question, but she made me think about it. This only applies to parliament meetings, not the Does it apply parliament meetings only, or does it also apply, like, if I run finance, I miss a finance meeting?
So this is chairperson.
Only parliament?
Yes, there's other stuff
This
for,
is speaker and parliament and chairpersons under rationale for 16.8. It's like the fourth line.
That's the actual bylaws. The proposed changes the attendance policies for parliament.
Oh, okay, so
So there's-
it's two different, okay.
Two different things.
I got you. Oh, good.
Josh.
I am personally, my only problem is I don't think that you can expel an executive member from parliament. That's my issue with that wording there, is that I don't believe that you can do it because the only two ways that you can remove an elected position is through vote of no confidence and impeachment. So if we wanted to change some wording around, I mean, personally, I would like to, I don't have an issue with the one because I also believe that we should be held in a higher standard. And shouldn't have as many chances as a normal parliament member. So I don't have that big of an issue with it. I do think that 2 and 1 for both of us should be fine. I think it should just be equal playing field. But then the expulsion part on the back of the policy is just what's confusing me, is that because at the end of it says, unexcused absences for more than 1 regular meeting or 2 special meetings in a semester are ground for immediate expulsion. Yes, I know, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. But this is just for parliament members, not for executive board. So that's my issue, is that executive board members, since we're held in such higher standards, we don't just get expelled. We should have a public vote of no confidence or an impeachment trial. That's why we have such high standards here. So
I believe.
I read this on Monday and I couldn't find where it said, but I don't believe that we can be expelled from parliament.
Well, doesn't it say in the proposed revision, the speaker of parliament can grant a maximum of 2 regular leaves per semester to non-executive board members? Wouldn't it then make sense that the rest of it follows as it all be non-executive board members?
So under expulsion, here's where it talks about expulsion of members of parliament. So does it not cover? So,
No, it doesn't cover it. That's why I'm confused, is that according to the way of how Joan explained it to me, is that it's a vote of no confidence or impeachment. Or you ask them to resign, one of the two, one of the three, if you're that old. But that's what the vote of no confidence is. But I'm just very confused, and I don't really know. This is correct. I mean, personally, I'd like to table this to next semester. I don't think it affects anybody. So that I'm okay with voting on the proposed bylaws changes. That really doesn't bother me. Is this the actual attendance policy with the expulsion? I don't know if we could, I'm okay with the 1 leave. I would table the other bylaws changes too, because I would really like to, this is just me, if anybody else agrees with me, is that I think 2 leaves of absences and one unexcused is more than fair for everyone. As Janelle said, it lowers the amount, it specifies it, because the biggest issue we have is that it just says 3. It doesn't say on the 3rd, it doesn't say after the 3rd. This one is very clear, it's 3.
So, if I can speak on that at least, so it says that parliament, go back to where okay, so it says, may grant a maximum of 3. So the way I said it, since you're granting it, that means it's an excused absence. And then on top of that, you get 1 unexcused absence, which is where I came up with the number of 4. Which I and my committee still feel like that is too many meetings to be missing for anyone on parliament, and this is per semester. So this isn't for the whole year, it's for every semester. 4 meetings, potentially, I'm not saying that, it still feels like a lot, which is where we came up with 2 plus 1, so maximum of 3, and then 1 to 1, so maximum of 2. members. That's at least how I interpreted the wording, since it said may grant, which meant it was an excused absence, and that this policy doesn't talk about unexcused absences, and it goes into what's leave and late leave and stuff, which are excused if passed. So that is where we were coming from that. As far as the back, I literally just kept the same wording that was already there. So theoretically, if a executive board member missed that many meetings, I feel like it would still be the same thing. If you do a vote of no confidence, there's nothing in here about it.
No, it says immediate expulsion. So there is no vote of no confidence. You miss one meeting, then you miss another one. So, again, it kind of jumps over the vote of no
It
confidence.
says that there are grounds, it doesn't say that it is, there are grounds for it, which I feel like is, wordings like that. But I don't think I have the full attendance policy on me to see if the rest of the attendance policy covers something. Because I originally had the full attendance policy listed, so we could see other things that were already on it, and take that cut out. So.
No, I already said no.
I do feel like absences is straight due to the fact that I'd rather have most of my people on pause than I should. And we is just like the board said, students, people, you know what I'm saying, we work and blah, 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 and all that. We might be traveling or something like that. I just do feel like one excuse, or two excuse, and one excuse is y'all like cutting the job close. I do understand why. I just want to voice that opinion. I just don't feel as though making it so stringent is going to benefit in the way that we deserve. And again, I do understand why you're trying to cut it down.
So the idea of that is, yes, we want the most amount of people in Parliament as possible, but if they're missing that many meetings, are they really being productive members of Parliament? Are they really helping the students?
I would push back on that statement due to the fact that you could not show up and still be pretty productive in your organization. I do feel as though it would cut people out just because they're not attending, even though they might have extreme circumstances. I just can't get behind that kind of concept. Yeah, at the end of the day, they should be job curious, should be talking all that good stuff, get people's opinions. But I reckon this is not the only way we can get those opinions. And if they aren't coming here through the whatever, I don't feel like we should be punishing them, even if they, again, if you want to be here, you know what I'm saying? Ball me to be here. If you don't want to be here, I'm pretty sure they're not going to join. You know what I'm saying? So they did join, and sometimes they can't be here. I feel like punishing them for having a life is not suffice. That's just the way I see it. I do completely understand what you're saying and all that. It just seems kind of callous.
I'd like to motion to table this discussion to the next meeting. Give everybody a break to read over it. Okay. Read over it. I do want to say this is that I think this is a great thing because the attendance policy has always been a discussion topic of confusion. So I would like Lexi did a great job with this. I just think that it's still causing confusion. So maybe we need to keep working at it. I think this is a great start. I think it's starting to limit the confusion, but now we just need to try to get it down to this is this, that's that, no ifs, ands, or buts. Or, you know what I mean?
I really don't mean to interrupt you right here, but I reckon this is exactly what you're speaking upon. It seems very concise.
Yes.
Now.
But if it's not concise to everyone, it's like we're all confused.
The problem right here is the way that it's set up. It doesn't seem as though the confusion of what it means. It means what it means. It's obvious that's what the job means. And I understand exactly what the job's saying. I'm not trying to speak for everybody, but it just seems as though the disconnect is not of what it means. It's how it is.
Okay. Yeah, to the point of that, I think there's still a little bit of confusion whether it's what it means or how it's interpreted, or whatever anybody has an issue with it. I motioned first, and I know a bunch of other people did a second, to table this to the next meeting so we can all think about it and discuss it at the next meeting.
How many times has this been a topic of discussion?
It hasn't been on Parliament in a while, but I know it's always been a topic up in SCG. Officers discussing it, speakers wanting to be strict, other people wanting to be looser. So I know I have a motion and a Gian second.
So I have a question. So you're motioning for both proposed changes or just
Yes.
one? You said you're on one for one and not the other.
Both.
Okay.
We noticed that you guys were doing that the longest time. I was like, oh, we'll get out of here fast. We're gonna let them go.
No, of course you
noticed.
Two proposed changes. One's the attendance policy,
It's
one's
both.
the.
I'll go, yeah.
And Gian second.
Alright.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Ask if there's any discussion on the table.
Is there any discussion on the table? Sorry,
Just
No.
what,
Representative.
What I was just curious about is how common of a problem has it been with showing up in absences in the past in Parliament? Is it that prominent of a problem that something has to be done that as well?
I would say, I will ask Joan for the actually Diane has all the attendance sheets of the last 5 years. I'll get them all and bring them to Parliament. You guys can see how many people missed 4 meetings. We can make that decision.
I will let you know.
I think Janelle says I think about this earlier, but since this is the policy and the bylaws, this wouldn't go into effect anyways.
No.
Bylaws goes,
That's what I see. Sorry.
If it don't pass right now, it would still only go into effect next year.
Okay, so waiting on it won't really happen.
So when we put this on the table and pushing that table the next year, will we y'all like alter what we're saying? Like, what you gonna be again next semester?
I think that would be up to the new speaker because I won't be here anymore. So because I'm not here, it's going to be up to the new speaker to have a bylaws meeting again and talk about it in his committee and see any changes. He's here, so they'll be able to know what we talked about.
So basically what is gonna happen is it's gonna go back to the committee to be.
Point of information.
It's tabled.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well, it's not tabled yet, first of all.
Exactly.
Because if it gets tabled, it doesn't go back to the committee. It gets tabled for the next Parliament meeting. So we can think about any changes that we want to make.
But ostensibly, John just gonna be coming back the first week of next.
So, yeah, it's just going to be coming back.
I would like to, go ahead and vote on this. No, I have a better way to do this, just vote no on the table. There's a motion to refer to a committee, so you can motion to refer it back to the committee. So the table, I'd like to renounce my motion. And now I'd like to motion
Council.
move to the vote.
Okay, so right now, we're voting on moving, referring this to a committee. So essentially tabling it, but sending it back to the bylaws committee to be changed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
No. Nay. Nay.
Any abstentions?
So, And that's for more. So that gets referred to the committee. All right, updates and marks, faculty update. You.
Oh. Frankly, if there's a question, I will get the answer, but otherwise, spontaneously, I have no message. Oh, okay.
How's your day going? Good?
How what?
Your semester? How'd your semester go?
Oh, well, you know, it's just up and down, But like the, what do you call this? The regression line goes up. The regression line goes
Wait,
up.
regression isn't that what that is?
All right. So, staff update, Arthur.
Yes, thank you. I hope everybody has a great evening tomorrow at the party. Dining service is also going to be happening in Winter Wonderland tomorrow. Central party does not begin until 6. You'll have plenty of time. 3:30 it starts. Also on Monday night, you have the late night breakfast. Last but not least, I want to wish every one of you, I hope all of your exams, papers, etc. go well, and you have a safe and happy holiday season.
Here.
Cheers.
All right, senior students, Dr. Tamika Wardle-Williams.
Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you all for your service on SCG. You've done an amazing job. I would really like to say thank you to President Percy. You have done an amazing job in really growing the membership. I only encourage you all to continue doing what you're doing because it's definitely showing your hard work. I wish you all the best as you prepare for your finals, examinations, and submission of other assignments. The last meeting we had, I had gotten into a car accident, so I wasn't able to attend. So with that being the example that was used a few times tonight, I would really like to end on please get home safely. But again, thank you all for the work that you've done and looking forward to an amazing spring semester.
All right. Alumni update, Haley.
Hey.
Hey.
Good job this semester, guys. I think you guys have done a lot. Let's get a bigger table for next semester. Keep pushing. Good luck on finals and happy holidays for whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. I think enjoy your break. Catch you guys next semester.
Appointments, resignations, and vacancies.
All right. I'd like to ask that the following appointments be accepted unanimously. I'd like to appoint Aslan Hanley to the Academic Affairs Committee. I'd like to appoint Jonathan Goncalves and Julia McAdams to the Conditions and Services Committee on Student Parliament spots. Also like to appoint Aslan Hanley to the Student Parliament spot of the Personnel Evaluation Committee. And that is all I have at the moment. Also want to just remind everybody of the SCG committees that are open. Bylaws has one more spot for Student Parliament and an ex officio, if you would be interested in that. Conditions and Services has 3 Student Parliament spots and 5 non-Student Parliament spots. Elections Committee, fully open, 7 spots for Parliament members, 3 for non-Parliament. Finance, you got 2 Parliament, 2 non-Parliament. Public Relations, you have 6 Student Parliament and 3 non-Parliament. Student Organization, you have 4 Parliament, and other than that, I have nothing else for you guys. I ask that those be accepted unanimously.
Any opposition to that? All right. Those are done to be done. Issues of parliament, or what?
I wanted to thank the freshman reps for working so diligently with me on a BRIC 100 resolution and petition you guys are working on to try to help change that up. Stay tuned for next semester on that one. We'll have a petition and we'll have hopefully a resolution finished for you guys for Parliament. I just wanted to thank you guys for that.
Janelle, what's up?
Hi, just so you guys know, your last check for stipends is gonna be, ready for you next Friday. If you don't come and pick it up by then, I'm sorry, but the office will be closed, and you'll have to come back after January 23rd. So please be mindful of that. Go get that money or whatever you deserve it. Yes.
Next Friday, being the 13th.
Yeah, my birthday.
Hey.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Give me your
Issues of Parliament members, is this the forum where we talk about our personal issues?
No.
This is what I talk about my emotional issues.
Yeah, you guys just, sorry, both the freshman representatives, Ms. Ernie and Blaze, could you guys meet me afterwards to talk about that, get a meeting together? Cool.
Thank you.
Man, off that issue so old. You did one of the best secretaries. Oh, we got that.
I'm secretary.
But you, I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
No, I want to say one last thing. I wanted to explain something real quick. So, the reason why I call everyone representative here is because when we come in here, we are all representatives of the student, whether or not Josh is the president and she's the secretary. That is why I call every single person in here representative, except for the faculty and the students and Haley. But otherwise, we're all representatives of the students, and that's why I call everyone representative, no matter what your title is. All right. Point of information, what?
I don't care, I will forever say treasurer before my name, thank you.
All right, well, you're representative of Parliament.
I'd like to motion.
Adjournment,
Seconded by treasurer Gomez.
All right, everyone, please stay seated for roll call.
Joshua Percy. Monk Kane. Janelle Gomez.
Here.
Monty.
Yes.
Lily Gallo. Taylor Blumenbeck. Here. Amy Luzon. Here. Isaiah Hopper.
Here.
Julie McAdams. Here. Thomas Duff. Here. Aiden Mentor.
Here.
Joseph Berta. Sean Gonzo.
Here.
Aislinn Hanley. Dr. Tamika Wardlow Williams. Present. Arthur Catchery.
Here.
Haley Rowe. Hello. Dr. Darren Nicholas.
I am here.
Gian Tamada. David Blaze.
Here.